Here there, in this particular session, we are going to look at two modules from the mobile engine, which will help us to get the current Appium session ID and also to end our current Appium session. Now, both of these are part of the standard mobile engine, and using these, we can handle our Appium sessions. So basically, we can manage our Appium sessions. So whenever we connect our mobile device using Tosca, a new Appium session starts. And using this module, which is called the Get Appium Session ID, we can get the ID of that particular Appium session. So if you go into modules, and then you go into standard modules, and then go into the engine, find the mobile. So here you will see we have got two modules. So Get Appium Session ID, and then we have got the End Appium Session. So End Appium Session has got no module attributes, but Appium Session ID has got just one module attribute, which is the buffer name. Now this buffer name is used to basically store the session ID into a buffer. So these are two very simple modules, but this could be useful for better management of your Appium sessions, especially when you are running multiple automation tests using your Tosca mobile. So let's go into a particular test case and let's try to use these two modules and let's see how it works. So for this, we'll use an existing test case, a simple one where we are logging into a particular mobile app. So we first open the connection and then we go into the login page, we log in and then we do some swiping on the screen, right? So there are three steps and then we are going to insert two more steps here. One to get the session ID for the Appium session and another to end the current Appium session. So always remember that you can only add the step to get the Appium session ID after you create the connection or you open the mobile app, right? So you cannot put the Get Appium Session ID module before this, right? So let's go ahead and search and add the step. And here I'm going to just search for Appium. So that will give me the two modules. And I'm going to use the Get Appium Session ID. And this step, I'm going to put it before the login. Okay. And then what we want to do is we'll again search for this Appium, and this time around we will use the End Appium Session ID. So this will be our last step where we end the Appium session after we are done with all the steps. So here in Get Appium Session ID, we need to provide it a buffer name. Okay, so I'm going to call this session ID. We can give it any name, but this is the name where it will store that particular Appium session ID. And then for end Appium session, we don't need to provide any parameter or any module attribute value, right? Because it doesn't has one. So you just need to provide this module and then it will automatically find out which one is the current Appium session, and then it will go ahead and end the session, okay? So that's the whole functionality of this particular module. So now, if I go ahead and run this, then we can see it in our Tricentis mobile agent, how it will connect to the mobile, and then it will store that particular Appium session ID, and then it's going to end the session, okay? So ideally, you will not see any UI changes in using these two modules, but it will be done in the backend. But we can go to our buffer viewer and then we can see the buffer value, or we can also see it in the logs, right? So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so as you can see, it completed all the steps. And then if we look at the Scratchbook, so here we are interested in this Get Appium Session ID. So if I go into the log info and expand it, You will see this is the buffer name session ID, and this is the alphanumeric value, which is nothing but the EPM session ID. Okay, so this is the captured session ID, and then in the last step, it is going to end the current APM session. So it's basically a clean way of running your mobile tests when you are working with multiple devices and multiple tests are running. Then it's better you get the APM session which is currently running and then end the session once you're finished with your test so that your next test can run without any interruptions. So that's all about these two modules which get you the APM session ID and then it ends the current APM session.